He runs a construction company doing about $4.5 million a year, and he works harder at his numbers than almost anyone I've worked with. And one day, he'd had it. I'm submitting all the receipts. Why do I keep having to go back and add all this in? That question is why this software exists. This is that story. I spent years running a 150-person retail operation across 7 states, $24 million a year in revenue. At that size, you get an instrument panel, margin by department, cash position, cost reports that somebody answers for. When I became a bookkeeper for contractors, I watched owners carry that same size of risk with none of those instruments, and the software they were buying wasn't going to give it to them. So this is the story of why I stopped recommending other people's software and we built our own. Stay to the end because the lesson inside isn't about our software, it's about what your business deserves to know about itself. A while back, a sewer and drain company hired us to help set up job costing. They ran one of the big field platforms, and I found out fast that the expenses they entered in it would not come over to QuickBooks. So I designed a workaround. The office manager would enter the job cost receipts, the cost of the actual work, into the field platform, and then enter the company's overhead receipts into QuickBooks. Then I would pull an export of all the expenses out of the platform and load it into QuickBooks by hand, just to get the job cost to show up in both places. The platform for job costing, the books for everything else. It never happened. The office manager couldn't make the double entry work, and the owner looked at it and said it wasn't worth it. And he was right. Job costing never happened at that company. The software didn't just fail to do the job, it made the job so heavy that a willing owner walked away from his own numbers. So I went shopping on the client's behalf. The big platforms, the receipt apps, all of it. At the time, nobody moved expenses into the books, and the receipt apps weren't built to capture what job costing actually needs, which job, which category, and which part of the receipt is a cost of the work versus an expense of the company. In the last video, I showed you why that gap exists. Financial plumbing doesn't sell software, marketing does. And then there's the contractor from the top of this video, $4.5 million a year, trying harder at job costing and business segmentation than anyone else I've worked with, and willing to put in the effort. Every month I had to send him a list of questions. Which job does this receipt belong to? Which job is this bill for? Until he finally said it. Why do I keep having to answer all these questions? We're uploading our receipts to QuickBooks. I don't have time for all this. He wasn't wrong. The system was. The hardest working guy in the room was being punished for trying. Quick flag. We built a free mini CFO Dashboard spreadsheet that shows you the exact numbers this story is about, using your own. The link's in the description. Here's what those owners were missing and what the big companies have had all along. I call it the instrument panel, and 3 instruments matter most. First, a margin target. Take what it costs to keep the doors open for a year. That's your overhead. Divide it by your revenue that you expect, and that's your overhead rate. Add the profit percentage that you're going to refuse to skip on, and you've got the bar that every single job has to clear. Big companies grade every bid against that bar. Most contractors have never been shown how to set it. Second, margin by segment. Which parts of your business actually earn? Accountants have a name for the dollar each part kicks in towards covering your overhead and profit. It's called contribution margin. I'll keep it light, but know this. Big companies rank every division by it. Feed the winners and fix or fire the losers. There's no reason you can't do the same at your size if and only if the field data reaches the books. Third, job level truth. Estimate next to the actual on every job while it's still warm. That's the instrument that fixes your pricing because the next bid is only as smart as the last job's real numbers. None of the 3 is complicated math, and all 3 die without the ingredients: the receipt, the hours, and the job tag making it from the truck to the books. That ingredient is exactly what the software market wouldn't build, so we built it. The first version of Project Tools was exactly one feature: receipt capture with voice memo, built so the guy in the truck could photograph the receipt and say the job name out loud and be done. And built so the bookkeeper on the other end, my team, got a clean screen to assign the job and the category. Even split one receipt across 3 jobs. That one feature ended the monthly question war with that $4.5 million contractor. And then it grew because every client conversation added a question. Can it do this? Can it do that? Usually by the next day, it could. Today, it's about 155,000 lines of code, 97 database tables, 676 automated tests, and 12 AI features. All of it runs on a machine in our office, an AI supercomputer, so the AI costs about $300 a month instead of a per-click bill in the cloud. It went from nothing to all of that in under 5 months, with a lot of sessions going until 3:30 in the morning, getting features ready for a meeting the next day or to demo at a home show. And there's one rule we never bent. We have never built a feature that weakens the financial core. A client once asked me for a quick way to fire off an invoice. I told him, we'll make converting your estimate into an invoice as fast as humanly possible, but we will not build you a side door around the system that keeps your job costs true. Fast is fine, hollow is not. And one important thing, none of this works without you. The crew still has to say the job name into the phone. Somebody still approves the receipt. No software, ours included, can invent data your company didn't capture. What good software does is it makes the capture easy so that it actually happens. And the payoff isn't just clean books for their own sake, it's that every instrument I just described finally turns on. So let me show you what all those receipts and hours buy. Same 3 instruments on a real screen. This is the CFO Dashboard of Best Decision Project Tools on our demo company, Summit General Contracting. Instrument 1, the margin target, lives right here. This company runs a 20% overhead and a 10% income target. So its margin target is 30%. Every estimate in the system gets graded against that bar automatically the moment it's priced. The gauges around it read the same way a big company's financial team reads them. Green means on track, and you don't need a finance degree to know which one to worry about. Instrument 2, margin by segment, same 3 divisions you've seen before, residential remodels, commercial build-outs, service and repair, side by side, each showing the margin dollars it kicks in towards covering overhead. Its contribution. The ranking is the decision. Feed the winner. And instrument number 3, the job level truth. Estimate versus actual on any project live while there's still time to learn from it. 3 instruments, all of them powered by a receipt and a voice memo from the truck. Last video I asked why nobody built this without a trade-off. Here's the honest answer. For me, there wasn't one. I got into bookkeeping to help small businesses like yours understand their money and win. Building the software nobody else would is the same job continued. Strong small businesses make strong communities. That's the whole why. Now you can run this lesson without our software. Just trace one receipt's full journey this week from the truck to your books and check 4 breakpoints. How do hours get from the crew to payroll? How does a receipt get its job name? Who types the same thing twice? And where would a profit by job report actually come from? Every breakpoint you find is an instrument that's dark right now. And if you want the 90-second version of how field data lands in the books and project tools start to finish, I shot that as a short follow-up. The link's in the description. Now, if this story sounded like your business, hit the like button. It helps the next owner who's still being punished for trying to find this video. Now are 3 things you can do this week without buying anything. First, run the receipt trace I just described. 1 receipt, 4 breakpoints, and write down where it stalls. That list is your real software requirement, better than any feature comparison. Second, set your margin target tonight. Annual overhead divided by expected revenue, plus the profit percentage you refuse to skip on. Write it where you build estimates. From now on, every bid clears the bar or it doesn't go out. And third, grab the free mini CFO dashboard from the description. It's a spreadsheet version of what you saw on my screen today. You enter up to 3 segments of your business, the revenue and direct costs for each, plus your overhead and your profit target. It hands back margin by segment, what each segment contributes towards covering your overhead and your margin target bar. It's 10 minutes and your instrument panel exists on paper. Before I wrap up, tell me in the comments, what's the one question your current software still can't answer about your business? I read every comment, And more than half of this product came from questions exactly like that. Real quick, if you want help running your business by the numbers, every episode, hit subscribe. Coming up, the right moment in a job to check whether it's making money while there's still time to fix it. The instrument panel you saw is Best Decision Project Tools. It exists because of the people in this story, and it's still built the same way. Books first, field capture that lands in your financials, running in any phone browser. Every feature since version 1 has had to pass the same test. Does it make the numbers true? Start with the mini CFO dashboard I mentioned. The link's in the description. 10 minutes with your real numbers, and you'll see your business the same way I saw that contractors. And if this story is why you've been curious about Best Decision Project Tools, the link and the current pricing are in the description too. It was built for owners like the ones you just heard about. Maybe that's you. Now here's where we landed. The instruments your business deserve exist. The only thing that was ever missing is the pipe from the field to the books, and now you know why we built it. But once your instrument panel is on, a new question shows up. When do you look? Because there's a right moment in a job to check whether it's making money, and catching that moment is what saves the next project. For that, watch this video. Your book should tell you more than your tax bill. Mine told me to go build something. Go find out what yours are telling you.